What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Back up in here, Hella Flagrant, the podcast. It's your main man, Flagrant DM. I'm in here with my brother, Sean B. Flagrant. We got this 2018 NFL preview special edition. So not a full episode of the podcast, just a little, preview edition right here to jump y'all off into week one of the NFL, kind of break down our thoughts and opinions on some of the teams and some of the matchups and key positions and situations. So we're going to jump right into this. I'm going to let you get started with your team, Oakland Raiders, and some of the moves that they made. And just kind of want to let you give the people your thoughts on what you think the Raiders are going to do this season.
Well, after a long 4 games of preseason, man, the NFL season's finally here. The Raiders back at it. Big problem, though, I can tell you right now. I mean, you already know about it. The whole world knows about it. We lost one of our players this week to Chicago. Hey, Raider Nation, man. Listen to me. Listen to me. I felt just as bad as you. I woke up Saturday morning, hungover as hell, first of all, in Vegas. Turnover, rollover. Look at my phone, and look, what do I see? Khalil Mack, our all-pro linebacker / defensive end, traded away. I mean, look, two first-round picks. Awesome. We got 2019 first-round pick, 2020 first-round pick. We also got a third-round pick. Now, it's not worth Khalil Mack. That's all I can say, man. It's not worth the defensive player of the damn year.
Where do you think the decision to trade him came from? Do you think it was a Gruden decision, or do you think that was from, from further up the ladder? Do you think it was a Khalil Mack thing, like he was telling them, hey, I don't want to be here anymore?
I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly think that this was done a long time ago, meaning I'm not saying that they were specifically talking to the Bears a long time ago. I mean that Gruden came in. When Gruden, he overlooked the team. He figured out what he thought or his design wanted to be, moving forward, since he did sign a 10-year, $100 million contract, which still doesn't make sense to me. But he wanted his own team. He didn't want the, Raiders with Al Davis that Al Davis ran and Mark did it for the last few years. He didn't want that team. He didn't want the last year's team, the 6-10 team. He didn't want the 12-4 team. He wanted John Gruden's team. So what happened from that was, I think he addressed the situation, talked to Reggie McKenzie, talked to Mark Davis ownership, and basically said, you know what, like, we weren't that good on defense the last 4 years he was here. Doesn't mean he's not a great defensive player, but I cannot basically look at myself and pay Derek Carr $25 million a year, and then on top of that, play a defensive player that, although being the best defense player in the league most years, hasn't changed our defense in any kind of way. So what in that case, I think Gruden just said, you know what, we're going to lowball him. If he goes for it, cool. If not, maybe we got to move on. But what happened was, I think once Aaron Donald signed in Los Angeles, I think that they looked at the numbers, and Khalil Mack is going to want at least like $1 more. That's like the thing in the NFL. Like, if somebody gets paid at the top of your position, you got to get like at least $1 more. But I think they looked at that and was like, there's no way we're paying this for him. We cannot get our team locked up when you have two of your main people. Yes, they are your main people, getting paid $50 million per year in the thing. They're like, nah, we're not going to do it. They kind of panicked. I think they could have waited a little bit, but they traded him to Chicago. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough time. But
so outside of defense, what else do the Raiders have to look at or maybe look forward to for the season?
Well, hopefully their offensive line will hold up. They got left tackle Colton Miller. I don't really know. Dude seems okay, but they moved Donald Penn over to the right tackle. Of course, they got Kelechi Osemele, Gabe Jackson. So if they can hold pat and keep Derek Carr upright, not get hurt, break his back, and all this other stuff that happens to him, leg and everything, I think they'll be okay. They did get rid of Martavis Bryant, which I really don't understand why. They traded a third-round pick for him, so it makes no sense. But Amari's coming back. He's just got to catch the ball. Jordy Nelson is a big addition, I think. for this team. I don't think it's going to be electric Jordy Nelson that you saw with Aaron Rodgers down in Green Bay, but he's going to help teach the other guys how to position themselves, how to be better receivers. So I think that's a plus. Jared Cook, Seth Roberts is still here. So I think it'll be okay on offense. Marshawn Lynch, of course, Oakland's own, but they're going to probably do it by committee this year. Like I think that you'll see a lot of DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard, as well as maybe even Dwayne Martin that came down from Tampa Bay. So they look okay. I think like two players to watch this year is going to be Garrett Conley. I guess this is his rookie year because he was supposed to play last year. That's the one I talked about before on the podcast about being accused of rape. Yeah. But he had shin splints, some injury to his leg last year, so he was out the whole year. When this dude's healthy, he's one of the best corners to come out of that draft. So I think that it might be a big addition. Also, I want to see if there's anything left in Derek Johnson, who used to play over in Houston, man. We've got him. I don't know why we got him this old. But dude could flat cover the linebacker position when he was right. So hopefully that makes a big difference. And then Arden Key, the new pass rusher, wears 99, which probably wasn't a good choice considering Alden Smith was the last person to wear that. Think twice. But I mean, whatever. He's actually kind of built like Alden Smith. I mean, the dude's lean pass rusher. So hopefully he kind of takes over Khalil's spot since they foolishly let him go. I'm gonna say it one more time. Foolishly let him go. But
final record for the Raiders.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm going to say 8-8. I know that sounds terrible coming from a diehard fan, but 8-8 is probably the best I can do. 9-7 possibly. There's a stretch in there where they play just 5 straight murder games, and I'm just like, we might lose all 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might just completely flip the whole season just dead to water. So I'm gonna predict right now. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 9-7. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Gruden will help this team. I'll write it down. I say Gruden will help this team get over the hump. If they have lows, like I just said, in the 5 games or whatever they have, if they start losing 2 or 3 here, I think Gruden will be strong enough to pull them out. So we're gonna go 9-7.
All right, 9-7. It's on the screen, folks. It's right there at the bottom.
If they
Sean B. Flagrant can't run away from this. I put it right there.
Hold on. If these boys go anything less than 7-9, I don't know nothing about football. Just take me off the air because I mean, this team can at least get 7. Nah, don't let me say that because I'll end my show if these boys get like 5. Forget what I just said because
right.
they're not gonna ruin my life.
Worse has happened. Worse has happened.
Yeah, I just thought about that. You ain't gonna ruin my life. I'm gonna stay out here talking to y'all. Y'all don't worry about what I just said. Forget all that. Like, I mean, I want y'all.
You might gamble something else. You might have to wear a Chiefs jersey or something, but I don't know about
I can't end the show on that. Look, I'm telling y'all, all y'all Raiders fans, back me up. You better put at least 8-8 up. If you don't, I ain't into the show, but I don't know. I'll figure something out, man. Like, but I'm gonna say 9-7. I'm gonna say 9-7.
All right, 9-7, 9-7 for the Raiders. Bet. Well, I'm gonna get into my team.
Yeah, speak on these boys.
San Francisco 49ers. Y'all feel me? My boy Jimmy G. Let's get jumping with that. So as we know, last season the 49ers went on a little 5-game win streak when Jimmy G stepped in and started winning games. This was prior to, as you claimed in the last show, him going on dates with porn stars. Hopefully, that does not.
That was because he didn't have no money before he came to y'all. Y'all gave him the money to afford the porn star. That's what happened. Gave him all that money. Now you don't know what to do with it.
Listen, though, that was summer. My man is focused. We back on the field. He's gonna get the job done. All right. So I look forward to seeing a full season of Jimmy G. Obviously our offensive line isn't the strongest. There are some spots there that still need some help. But we have gotten stronger, over the last 2 seasons. And so I think that there'll be an opportunity for Jimmy G to hook up with Marquise Goodwin and be able to get some yards and possibly some points out of that combination right there. We do have a small problem, though, at the running back position. So we had
small. You lost your running back that you paid $34 million to. It's not small. Like, it's a huge problem. It's small.
So as we talked about on the last show, when you give guys these big contracts and they're in these positions that they could potentially get hurt, I guess knock on wood, I must have jinxed my own team because we did exactly that. We just lost $34 million to the bench for the rest of the season at a very, very, very crucial position in running back. So now, you know what I mean, the work is going to be put on Matt Breida and Alfred Morris to be able to see if they can hold down that running back position. And you know, maybe we can, you know, once McKinnon's on the actual injured reserve list, maybe we can pick up another running back in that spot. But that is definitely going to affect how we play offense and how we're able to score the ball. So you know, that's something that the 49ers have to address immediately and figure out how they can, you know, rally around their running back core and be able to get some guys in there to be able to run the ball, to be able to open up passing lanes for bigger plays down the field. Defensively, I was initially excited when we got Richard Sherman. Obviously, for a lot of reasons, he is hated on the 49ers for a lot of reasons, but being a Bay Cat, having him back in the Bay, I think he's going to be a good asset if he comes back from that Achilles injury properly. Other than him in the secondary, though, we have some issues back there. I don't really foresee us, you know, having a set of shutdown corners that is really going to stop some of these high-powered offenses. So they're going to have to work together back there defensively to be able to get some stops in the secondary for our defense. On the line, Joe Staley's back. We still don't have an edge rusher. We still need to create a real third down pass rusher, somebody that can really blitz. You know, and in the division that we're in, dealing with, you know, the NFC, we're looking at high-powered offenses. We got to have somebody that can rush the passers. So, you know, I look for this to be a building year for us. If I had to say overall predictions, looking at the schedule, 9-7 is where I'm at, but I could see 10-6 happening. I can see 10. I can see 10 wins on here. I can see 10 wins on here. There's experts that have us losing to the Bucks, and as somebody that lives in Tampa, man, forget all that. We're not losing to Tampa. Sorry, we're not losing to Seamus Jameis in Tampa. That's just not gonna happen. So,
Jameis gonna be off that 3-game suspension. Gonna be prime, man. He's gonna be missing out his stats.
Listen, Jameis better get a bicycle and stay out them Ubers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, I can see my team getting hot and winning, you know, 9-10 games this season. I'm just like I put yours on the screen. I'm gonna put it on here so nobody can say I didn't say it.
Put it all the way up
there. 10-6 right there. Yeah, boom. It's on the bottom. Y'all can check me out. So what happens when you don't get 10-6? That's what we need to figure out. Because that was an outstretch right there. We need to find out what happens to you. We have to talk about that.
Actually, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we do. Forget the records. We both optimistic about our teams. We're gonna talk about this game though. November 1st, Thursday night football in Santa Clara. 49ers, Raiders.
Oh, 49ers, easily.
Well, I mean, you have to take that side because I'm taking the Raiders. My point is, what is the bet gonna be? That's what I'm trying to say. We not betting on the season because I don't know what them clowns gonna do, you know, when they get the football in their hand. I'm talking about that game. That's a one game that we could talk about that we have right to bet on. What is that gonna be?
What's the wager? I don't know. What you willing to risk?
We gotta do something on air though. That's the thing. Like,
it's gotta be something that we can do on air. So that kind of limits what the wager can be. But
we'll figure it out. Check this out. If any of y'all have suggestions, go to our Instagrams. You know what I'm saying? Flagrant DM, Shine.B.Flagrant. shoot us a DM. You know what I mean? Let us know what we can do. If not, we're gonna figure it out. But we're gonna do it for you on air after the Raiders win. So there you go.
All right. Bet. So now we done got our teams out of the way. So there are 30 other teams in the National Flagrant League, as we like to call it. Let's run down through some of these, and maybe not team by team, but maybe position, couple of key spots. So who do you have on your list as quarterbacks that are going to perform well this season?
Well, I mean, we can always go with the top three. I think everybody's consensus on that. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and, of course, Tom Brady. Big noise about Deshaun Watson coming back. We'll see what he can actually do coming back off the Achilles injury. But, I mean, he's, Russell Wilson type. So, I mean, you throw them two in there. I think Russell Wilson might have a little bit of a hard time generating offense this year if his line doesn't hold up. So that's one thing to watch. I really think Marcus Mariota is going to have a pretty decent year. I think he's going to come into his own a little bit. I think he's got a few more weapons. I'm going to stick by my boy Phillip. I'm in a fantasy team, man. I got to stick by my boy Phillip Rivers down in LA Chargers, man. So I mean that's the basic regular, the regular quarterbacks. But I do think maybe it's going to be a sneak quarterback here and there. I'm predicting Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago to have just a hunch, just a thought. I think I really think he's gonna get a little bit of shine down there. It might not seem like it right now, but I just, even with that defense, the reason why, I mean, you think about that defense now that they got Khalil Mack, having Raekwon Smith, Danny Trevathan, and all them boys in the front. They do have some good corners. But what happens is the more you get the ball in your hand, the better you have to perform. Meaning if your defense can turn the ball over 3 straight times, you get another chance to throw the ball. You see what I'm saying? Like, he might make mistakes, but, I mean, if you keep getting the ball back, that's what happened with Blake Bortles down in Jacksonville. The reason why he has such good fantasy numbers and stuff like that is because the defense keeps giving him the ball back. He might be terrible and something like that, but he keeps getting the ball back. He keeps getting more and more chances to go down the field. So that's just a look. I mean, who would you thinking?
Obviously you have your key guys. I would actually this season agree with you with Phillip Rivers. I think Philly Phil is going to have him a nice little season yardage wise, and win wise too. They might be all right. I think they might surprise a few people down there. Rodgers, we like to see what he does coming back off the injury, and then the 41-year-old Tom Brady. I'm interested to see how he performs. Obviously, he's in a system that is what some would call impeccable. So it seems like, he can always find an open man and be able to get the ball downfield. But how much longer can he do that? So those are some guys that are expected to perform well, but may also have some rocky points at the season. So I'm looking to see how they fare out through the full 16 games and even into the postseason for those guys. I want to see how Carson Wentz plays coming back off of his injury. Obviously, Nick Foles was the Super Bowl MVP and won the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles and is going to be on the bench for the Philadelphia Eagles when the season starts. So Carson Wentz, I don't know how big the room for error is for him. I know had in a different scenario, in a different situation, had they not come off a Super Bowl win with Nick Foles, he probably would have a big window and have a lot of opportunity to make a few mistakes. But if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz comes out looking a little rusty and like he may need some weeks to kind of still get back into the groove, I don't see why Nick Foles shouldn't play.
I mean, but on the other end, what if Nick Foles is playing and he has one bad half? Like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, I think Nick Foles is going to be the week 1 starter. They got to respect the fact that he did win the championship with them, leading them into the championship. But so let's paint the picture. Thursday night football, first game of the season. National TV, everybody's watching.
Right.
Nick Foles starts the game, comes out. Atlanta's out for blood because they got knocked out because of them last year in the playoffs. Now, Foles has a bad half, right? Now, I know Carson Wentz is not exactly ready to come back right now, but there's going to start being chance like this. It's over. As soon as they find out that Carson Wentz is okay to play, is clear to play, and if Nick Foles has any little bit of he could throw one missed pass probably, and people going to start chanting Carson Wentz.
They
you know
are.
what I'm saying? So that's the problem with Nick Foles. Nick Foles, although you did what was the best thing possible for that city, they know Carson Wentz is their golden child.
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying?
And I hear you on that. I just, again, I think for both sides, I think if you have a Carson Wentz situation where he's not performing well either, do you then turn back and look at Nick Foles, or how much room do you give Carson Wentz to kind of get back into the groove?
Well, I wouldn't put Carson Wentz in there until he's completely healthy. I'll just say that. Like completely healthy. Meaning, I don't care what he tells me. I want to know what everybody's saying. Yes, I'm good. Yes, I'm good. I can see it in practice. The doctors cleared him. Every possible thing. I'll let Nick Foles get up there and get beat up all day long. I don't care. But my point is, until that's possible or until that exact thing, I'm not going to play anybody but Nick Foles. Meaning, I don't care if Carson Wentz say I'm fine and he's walking fine. Until I know he's 100%, I'm playing Nick Foles because, yes, he's not as good a quarterback as Carson Wentz. He's not the future, but he has proven himself and he deserves the right to stay out there as long as, Carson Wentz is not ready to play. But make no mistake, this is Carson Wentz's team. Absolutely. Everybody in Philadelphia knows that. They're just happy that Nick Foles came through.
Absolutely. So on my list of quarterbacks that I think may struggle, though, so we talked about who may perform this season. I think, and I know they just gave OBJ all that money, but I think Eli Manning might struggle this season. I think, the Giants have some holes in their offensive line. I think as, he is starting to get a little bit older, Eli, we have to, again, same with Brady, Rodgers, some of these other guys that have been around for a while, we have to look at what is his quickness like, what is his accuracy going to be like. So I personally think Eli may have a slightly tougher year than predicted. And then I think some of these other young guys like Sam Darnold, obviously he's a rookie, but I just think the system that he's being put into is going to be tough for him to have a good season. I think Blake Bortles he had his one good season, and I think that he's going to have a rough one as well. And so we'll see. I don't think Cam Newton's going to have the season that people think that he is either. That's on me, though.
All right, I can see that. You know what's funny, though? I actually thought about that with Cam Newton, and I feel like it's either going to be either extreme, basically. It's either he's going to have a terrible year or he's going to have one of the best years you've ever seen Cam Newton. I just feel like there's no middle ground with him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's either throwing the ball a million times to nobody or everybody's catching everything.
Right.
So I don't really know on that one. The Eli Manning thing I agree with. Definitely, for sure. Like you know what's going to be funny though, another betting tip if anybody wants to know. That first game with Jacksonville, Tom Coughlin, who was the president of the Jacksonville Jaguars, used to obviously coach Eli Manning his whole damn career pretty much.
Right.
Now, Giants don't have an offensive line. Jacksonville, aka Saxonville, is the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. They're gonna struggle offensively, but they got a good defense.
I'm telling you right now, they are going to attack Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Like in a way that you will watch that game. If you want to watch good football Sunday morning, tune into that game. That is going to be a massacre. They are going to kill Eli Manning. But
yeah.
So that's one. I think Alex Smith might have a tough time over there. He's more of a conservative quarterback. Being new to Washington, not having weapons. Josh Doxson over there is decent at best.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paired up again, I guess, with Vernon Maxwell. I was thinking about NBA. Vernon Davis.
Old school NBA had that.
Old school Houston Rockets. Back on NBA Jam, you could press that button. He was hitting all the time outside. Fireball.
He was.
pow, pow. That boy was hot. Vernon Maxwell and Hakeem. That's the strangest match. I was like, why do I have Vernon Maxwell and Hakeem, man? Like, I can see Hakeem. Can somebody else be on this team? Like, why is my option Vernon Maxwell? I don't care if he was hot or not on that game. That was not real life. You don't shoot no fireballs like that. I was like, what is this?
Nobody was trading for the Vernon Maxwell card at all.
No, at all. So went on top. Anyway, back to what I said. But yeah, Alex Smith not going to have a lot of weapons down there. I think it'll be tough for him. The rookie quarterbacks that you were naming, I only think it's going to be tough because I don't think that they're going to have all the players like Sam Darnold, for instance.
Right.
Sam Darnold, I think he looks, from what I saw in the preseason, he looked like every bit of the quarterback that they wanted. Duke, he's making the best, reads on passes. I just don't think he has the athletes to do anything for him. So without having a good offensive line, without having athletes and wide receivers that can catch the ball, nothing can happen from it. You can have the best passes in the world. If nobody catches the ball, it doesn't matter. So I think that's going to be his problem, staying upright, also because they're going to be coming at him left and right. Ryan Tannehill is a joke. He is going to be a struggling quarterback. I don't know why he's even still in the league or why they continue to not look for another quarterback down in Miami. It's just like the second ACL injury or something like that. The first one he actually tried to repair himself.
What do you mean?
Well, he's a doctor, so he tried to do his own work on his leg, and obviously that didn't work because it broke again.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's my whole point about Miami. Great city to visit.
Yeah.
Terrible city for football. Terrible
city for football. All right. Well, jumping off of that, I know you mentioned Saxonville on the defense side. What other couple other defenses that I'm looking at? So the Bears just obviously got a little bit stronger. They jumped from about, I think, 19 to about 14, 13 in defensive ratings by signing your boy Khalil Mack. Eagles defense, Jacksonville's defense, obviously what we know to be and look to be pretty good. Pittsburgh Steelers defense looks to be pretty good this season, but anybody else you looking at defensively?
Well, of course the Rams, they got the highest paid defense right now in the NFL, including, just signed Aaron Donald. The boy Dominican Sue on the other side of him, Aqib Talib from Denver, Marcus Peters was with Kansas City. They got Brockers down there from the LA Rams, or they used to play linebacker with them last year. But I think that they'll be pretty good. I think, it might be, it's Wade Phillips' defense. Old Duke can coach a hell of a defense. So, I think they'll be making moves over there once they get time to gel together as a team.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore might be a little bit better this year just because of the division that they're in. Let's see. Saints defense has been pretty decent. I also like Carolina, of course, but Denver's defense hasn't been getting well known or haven't getting recognition, I should say, like it used to. They have, like I said before, they got rid of Aqib Talib, but they still have Von Miller. Now they have Bradley Chubb that was drafted, so I think they could be all right, at least in their front. Their front mix, Shane Ray, is also on that team. That's probably what I would think. Is there any ones that you can think of that? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
I think, I've kind of touched on the ones that I think will be decent. I can always, and people are going to get mad at me just because I live in Tampa, and so a lot of people I know from Tampa are going to watch this, but I will rag on Tampa when I get the chance because they make some horrible decisions down here. Horrible decisions. Yeah, y'all signed Jason Pierre-Paul. Great. Like that guy. Would be a good asset to your team. What else have you done?
Right.
You sank all your money into Jameis and Mike Evans. I'm not mad at those two things. That's a good thing. Offensively, they're going to do work for you.
All right, Mike Evans. I don't know about Jameis, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, obviously Jameis is going to have to wait a while. And then once he's back, is he going to be at full strength the first week that he's back? Who knows? But defensively, y'all made no real moves. None whatsoever. And so, again, I I don't want to sound like I'm just hating on Tampa Bay just to be hating on Tampa Bay, but I don't feel like Tampa Bay defense is really going to be able to stop too much, especially in the pass. They may be able to jam up the run a little bit, but secondary wise, you guys are getting burnt. I'm just being honest.
You know what's crazy about that? Like we just talking about, you said that they only got one person on defense and nobody else. Like the only thing you did in offseason was get a dude that has 7.5 fingers. Like, ain't that
He's
crazy?
Wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, he is. No. John Pierre-Paul is a dude. I'm just saying, like, you only got one person, and the one person you got don't even have full set of hands. Like, Tampa Bay is behind the 8 ball, man, when it comes to making smart moves. Like the one, like I say, I'm not ragging on Jason Pierre-Paul. I'm just pointing out how bad Tampa Bay really is going right now. If you can only sign one dude, and dude don't even have a full set of hands, that don't even make no sense, man. But yeah, I also think I think the Raiders. Oh yeah, no. I think the Browns defense looks better. I saw them in preseason. I know it's preseason, but their defense. Now that's not saying that they're going to be stopping people left and right. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying they're better. They're better. They're better. But I mean, if you really want to pick on defenses, the Colts defense is probably got to be the worst. I don't even know if they have a player on their team on defense. They might just put out a white across the field.
I read a report. I think it was on the Washington Post earlier today. They was like, the Colts have this and this on offense, and when it comes to defense, they have a bunch of guys that play football, kind of.
You know what's crazy? And this is the problem, I think. And Jim Irsay's got to explain this because this makes no sense to me. You have Andrew Luck, yet you don't have an offensive line. You have had some running backs, but you haven't got any real pass catchers other than T.Y. Hilton. Then you don't have a defense. Where is the money going?
Yeah, that's the next question. Where is it going?
I mean, I don't know how much T.Y. makes. T.Y.'s got to be the second best player on their team. Great. I know Andrew Luck deserves whatever money he's getting. Who else is getting paid? I don't know anybody else on your team.
I can't. If you ask me to name 5 people on the Colts right now, couldn't do it.
Right. And the thing about it is you're supposed to spend a certain amount of money. Everybody, I mean, you're an NFL team. What are you spending the money on? Who is getting this money? Is he just pocketing it? I mean, I don't get it. I get it. You want to be a millionaire and a billionaire or whatever. But share some of it. These people are busting their ass and we don't even know who they are. I haven't seen one defensive play stop on any highlight from the Colts since Peyton Manning was playing there. Not one. I have never seen a player make a defensive stop on the Colts.
And you know what? Peyton Manning could probably come and play defense on that team right now.
Manning, with his bad neck and everything, man. This don't make no sense. I don't when you okay, I got it. I watched the first round pick and to get the guy out of what was it? Out of Notre Dame. I forgot his name, but he's right. He's on the same line as Mike McGlinchey that you guys drafted. Yeah. He was supposed to be the number one offensive tackle. I get drafting him. That's great. That's one step. But what did you do with the rest of your picks? I don't know. I really don't understand. What did you do with the rest of your picks? You didn't address the defense. I know that. You know what I'm saying? So they've got to be the worst. I think the Raiders are improved. I think 49ers are improved in some areas. But it's just a whole bunch of bad teams. Like I said, Miami is another one. I'm sorry. I was picking on Miami earlier, but I still got to go to it.
No, it is. It's looking rough for the Dolphins.
I know,
and almost in the same respect is where is the money going? What are you guys doing with the money? Because the few picks you did have, you traded away. And so who are you paying now?
Right.
Who are you paying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know Cameron Wake on defense, Kiko Alonso only because he's crazy. And I think they traded Robert Quinn from LA just to move some cap space so they could sign all the players. So, I mean, 3 people, that's great, but I don't know anybody else on your team. Anybody. And Ryan Tannehill, who's terrible. That's it. I said a bum quarterback and 3 defensive players. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. So with that in mind, we kind of broke down, you know what I mean, a few different things. Let's get into playoff Super Bowl predictions. Who do you see winning AFC, NFC, and the Super Bowl?
Okay. So what I think for the AFC, which is the Oakland Raiders division, I do not see the Raiders winning anything in the playoffs. But I do see Jacksonville coming out of the AFC. I think Jacksonville is loaded. That defense is strong. I know the quarterback is super suspect. But with the running game and having decent receivers, I think they'll be able to. Now, they did lose Marquise Lee to an ACL, which is going to hurt them a lot because he was one of their number one receivers. But I think their defense will make up for it. So that's my prediction coming out of the AFC. Now, on the NFC, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. I think it's their year. I think they're loaded top to bottom, defensively, offensively. Just a whole lot of weapons at Drew Brees' expense. You know what I'm saying? Alvin Kamara, who obviously, selfishly, I want to do great for my fantasy. But once Mark Ingram comes back, you got Mark Ingram. You got the offensive core is great. Drew Brees. On the defensive end, they got a corner that they just drafted out of Ohio State, the one that I was talking about with Gary Conley, Marquise Lattimore. Manti Te'o's on there. He's not really a great of defense. But Cameron Jordan, is the real deal. But I think that's my prediction. I think that the Saints and Jaguars are going to come out in the Super Bowl, and I am going to take the Saints to win the Super Bowl. Now, before I do this, I also have a sleeper team, though, that if it's not the Jaguars, I think the Chargers, if they can stay healthy, will compete against the Jaguars before that to see who wins the AFC, I guess, title. Yeah. Okay. And that's me putting Tom Brady not up there. Hear me now. New England, I understand New England and Tom Brady is still the GOAT, but I'm putting Jacksonville and the Chargers, if they're all healthy, above New England this year.
Got it. All right. Well, I have down two teams that most people would probably consider sleepers. Speaking of fantasy too, this affects my fantasy life. Le'Veon Bell still is not signed. And so that also messes with my Super Bowl prediction, because I think with him signing, which I think they will sign him, they'd be stupid if they don't. Be utterly ridiculous. Their whole offense would fall apart. They really wouldn't know what to do this late in the game without him. But I think the Steelers have a viable chance of winning the AFC. All things clicking, all things considered, they stay healthy. I think that they have enough of what it takes, and they have to get it done this season. I mean, if this unit doesn't get it done this season, they're likely going to be looking to make changes to this entire unit for several different reasons. Big Ben's age, this whole thing with Le'Veon Bell and his holdout. Like, if you don't get it done this season, they'll find a way to replace you and get rid of you. This is the second year in a row. They're going to grow tired of this kind of stuff. Like, you can't just keep doing this every year. So I think as a unit, they have what it takes. And if they get it together mentally and stay together physically, they'll be able to come out of the AFC, like you said, over Brady, and be able to make it out of there. For the NFC, and I hate to do this because I'm a 49ers fan, this is the hardest thing for me to say, but I do think that the Rams have a viable option of really making it. When you look at the schedule, when you look at their offense and how explosive they have the potential to be, and then defensively what they can do in terms of stopping both the pass and the run, I think the Rams really have an opportunity to really get there. For the Eagles to repeat, again, you're going to have to look at when Carson Wentz comes back, what is he going to look like? How long is Nick Foles going to be on the field, and how much can he really do for them while he's on the field? And so you look at that, as the season starts, and then you look at that as the season goes on. And to me, it just looks like there's going to be too much pressure on one of the other situations in order for it to gel properly. And I just don't see that working as a full Super Bowl team. And so I feel like there's going to be some opportunity for somebody to capitalize on that, be it Falcons or the Packers as well. But I think those two teams have a lot of question marks in the air as well. We talked about defending Julio Jones is getting easier and easier. So Atlanta, what is your other option offensively? What are y'all going to do on big play situations? Green Bay, we're looking at Aaron Rodgers coming back off an injury. Yeah, they look good on paper. How is that going to look on the field? And so I think that all of those kinds of things gives the Ram an opportunity to kind of push forward into that spot and be able to maybe sneak up and win the NFC. So I don't know if you call that my sleeper prediction as well, but Rams, Steelers, with the Rams winning it is how I have it on paper.
Yeah, I see that. I don't see it. I think that the Rams do have a great chance. I will say one thing about the Steelers. You're very much right about this being the last year. I mean, I just have a feeling that if it doesn't work, I think they're just going to blow it all up. I think Antonio Brown will be probably the only person that's there next year. Maybe Ben, but they'll be looking to replace him midway through the season. I think Le'Veon Bell either way is not going to be there next year. I think that they're over it. They're grooming that dude. I think his name is Connor or something like that. The backup running back. They're grooming him to kind of take his place. Like I just don't see it happening. And with that, I also think that Mike Tomlin will be gone too. Yeah. Like I just think it's their run. Their window for their run is closing. And I think it's going to be completely shut. I understand that Antonio Brown is still probably the best receiver in the game. I understand that Le'Veon Bell is still, once he's in there, is the best running back in the game. But it's not translating to wins. And it's translating to wins in the regular season, but it's not translating to wins for to get to a Super Bowl. And the problem is when you lose to every team, the same team every year, there's no excuses anymore. It's just they can't justify keeping you when you lose the exact same team every single year. And I know
in the same way almost too. It feels like you lose the same way to the same team. It's almost like it's like Toronto had to do in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like they had to break that team up because again, there's a little different situation. LeBron is a Raptor killer and a monster all in of himself, but still, Brady. Look at Brady the same way, but you lose to the same team the same way every time. You got to break that up. You got to look at making changes.
And of course, you have to lead that back to coaching because it's like, well, did Bill Belichick just outcoach Mike Tomlin every single time? And it's like, because we know that they have the weapons. Like I said, you cannot vouch for having the best wide receiver and the best running back and a quarterback that's still top 7, if not top 10 in the NFL. Like, why are you not getting this done?
Right.
And they can't look to anything else but to get rid of the coach, but to, at this point, get rid of Le'Veon because he's going to cost too much money. This is going to be his second franchise tag.
Right.
He's going to, no matter what, you're going to have to pay him close to like $18 to $20 million on a running back deal. Like, that's insane. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be his last year of the way. So it's really up to see if the Steelers can get this done, have one last push to the Super Bowl. And maybe, but like I said, New England's still out there. Jacksonville beat them last year. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville, and that was the weirdest thing possible because that was actually a shootout. I thought, Ben was still putting up, but you couldn't stop Blake Bortles. So it's like, were you out coached again? So it's just it's going to come down to what the Steelers, how hard they want to work, I guess, this year to see if they really are what we all think that they should be.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. That's our NFL predictions for the 2018 season. Check back in with us. Feel free to leave comments if you have any sort of input. If you think we're completely wrong, maybe you think your team is supposed to be in there. Let us know. You know what I mean? You could be a Chargers fan or a Chiefs fan, and you got every right to feel like your team is going to make it to the Super Bowl. They won't, but you got every right to feel like they might. So feel free to let us know. Hit us up. You can check us out on our Instagram pages. You got at Sean B Flagrant. You got me at Flagrant DM. Or, you can always check out theflagrantfoul.com and, hit us up on there. Leave, any sort of commentary, any sort of feedback that you guys want to leave. Always open to it. We welcome it. We want it. We want to hear more from you guys so that we can make this a part of what we do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do the Hella Flagrant podcast, and we just started season 2, so obviously tune into that. You can find that on www.theflagrantfoul.com. Also go to YouTube, iTunes, Google, all that. It's there for you. It's video live, just like we're doing right now. So go check out our podcast that we do, not every so often, but bi-weekly, I guess you could say. But like I said, season 2, number 1. We also got these clean ass new shirts that we push.
Not this one, though.
Yeah, but you can still buy that one. You can still get that one though on our at www.hellaflagrant.com. You can still get all this merchandise. This is the Earned Stripes shirt that we got. This is Raider color, obviously, from our team. But we got all colors. If you like the 49ers for whatever reason, go ahead and go.
Listen. You can keep the hate at the door. You can leave the hate at the door. Just come get your team color. We're not judging over here. You might be a Broncos fan or a Redskins fan. We're not gonna hate. We just come get your team color.
But the lit shirts though that you want right here, black, silver, white, and go to www.hellaflagrant.com and pick these ones up. Pick these ones up first. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I hope the red ones pop up first. Like when you first get to the site, I hope you see the red and the gold ones first. I gotta make sure that happens.
Get these ones.
But y'all, as always, y'all check us out. Hella Flagrant the podcast, episode 2 will be coming at y'all soon. So check your Instagrams, check the website. Look for the promo for episode 2, Hella Flagrant the podcast, coming at y'all soon. Check back in with us after week 1, man. We want to know y'all thoughts on week 1 of football and how it went down, all right? FlagrantFoul.com, Hella Flagrant the podcast, Flagrant DM, Sean B Flagrant. We out of here.
All right, peace.
Peace.